There is no we. I'm no longer a part of the program. And maybe I'm just not a good fit for you. And that's friends, family, and all. What's up, ladies, and welcome back to another episode of Her Clarity Space. I'm your girl, Jess, and this is the space where we build our self-trust one truth at a time. Okay, so I wanted to talk about something because as of recently, I've really been reflecting on my journey of becoming a content creator, my journey of being more expressive and sharing my thoughts with the world. I feel like I was not set up to be in this type of space. I genuinely feel like when I was growing up, the environment that I was in, women just didn't speak up. They didn't say what was on their mind. At least they didn't do it in public. And unfortunately, I adapted those habits. And it wasn't taught to me directly. It was taught to me indirectly by me watching what the women around me were doing or not doing. When you're going out to the functions, you save face for family, you save face for your relationships. You express yourself only behind closed doors, and you're very selective on who you express yourself to. And the few times that I did actually witness women standing up for themselves and saying what they want to say, it was always out of anger. It was always from frustration. It was always loud, unclear, and literally going nowhere. So from all of that, I learned that you keep your thoughts to yourself. You don't share with the class what you're thinking. You think to yourself, and then you only say what you feel will be accepted. So today I want to talk about how I unlearned all of that, how I found my voice in my 30s, and why it took me so damn long. So let me go ahead and paint the picture for you. I grew up in an environment where there weren't many options laid out for you. There was not shoot for the stars, what are your dreams, go after your dreams. It was the typical American family layout. You go to school, you graduate college, you find you a nice job, maybe in government or in corporate. You get married, you have the kids, you get the house, you get the cars, you do the things, you plan your one trip a year, and you just keep repeating and repeating and repeating until your years walking this earth is over. There was no creativity around me. Nobody actually invested in themselves. No one actually worked to get better or explore life and see what was really out there. Everyone really just followed what you would consider to be the rules of life, what you're supposed to do, pay your taxes on time, all of the boring shit. Like nobody really pushed for something different. And I don't mean that in a negative way to judge anyone, because hey, if you don't know, you just don't know. But I'm just painting the picture to let you know the cards that I was dealt and the things that I was exposed to while I was growing up, which led me to not wanting to share my thoughts, not wanting to speak out, not wanting to let my voice be heard. And when it came to content creation, that is why I was so fearful. A lot of times we think that we're afraid of people disagreeing with us, or we're just afraid because we don't want to be in the spotlight. But for me, I was afraid to let my voice be heard because I didn't know how to let it be heard. I always replayed my thoughts in my head. And I know a lot of people would think like, girl, you're doing a lot. Like, why are you saying so much? Because I was the word salad queen. When it came down to me trying to express myself, I actually still catch myself sometimes like over explaining, especially whenever I'm in a relationship, because I always want to make sure that the person understands where I'm coming from. So sometimes I over explain, and I also do that because I'm not used to expressing myself, not out loud. I'm usually working through my thoughts in my head. I'm not telling them to anyone else, which was a really big struggle stressful for me. So again, I find myself doing word salad. I'm talking all over the place. I'm jumping from topic to topic to topic. And it's taking me forever just to get one point across because I'm not used to doing this. Which was also a reason why it was so hard for me to journal, because I'm not used to getting my thoughts out of my head. I handle my thoughts in my head. And when they're in my head, I can jump from topic to topic to topic because it's my thoughts. Like, I know where we're going, but me trying to relay that to another person, it is very difficult. And I'm saying it is very difficult because that's still something I struggle with, especially when I'm in stressful situations. Like, I tend to deal with things on my own. I don't trust people to handle my emotions, my mental. I just don't trust it. And I don't trust it because I didn't have anyone that I could lean on for that as I was growing up. So it's like, unless you're like a paid professional and like this is your thing, even then I'm kind of side-eyeing you in the beginning. Like, let me see, because I know you got clients, but I don't know if you had a client like me. Like, I don't know if like I'm your cup of tea. Like, so I have to like feel you out. And that was a really big thing for me, like just being able to get my thoughts out of my head and express them to someone else and not worrying about if they understand me. Because when you learn to shut the fuck up, when you learn that you shouldn't be expressing yourself, you shouldn't be saying what you feel, you start feeling like you're misunderstood. Like, nobody's gonna get me. So I'm trying to beat you to the punch. I'm trying to give you all of the information before you can come back with a question and be confused. I don't want you to be confused, because what happens is when I hear you being confused, or when I hear that you don't agree with me, it makes me feel like I'm crazy. It makes me feel like, okay, here we are again. See, this is why I should have just shut the fuck up. This is why I should have just shut the fuck up in the first place, because now you don't get me. Now you don't understand me. Now you're disagreeing with me. You're making it seem like I'm just pulling all this stuff out of thin air. And I finally gotten to the point to where I just really don't care anymore. I had to get myself to the point to where I didn't care so that I can slowly start expressing myself, because I was never taught that disagreement was okay. You know how it is growing up in Black household. What the parent says goes. This is what it is. And you better not ask any questions or it's going to be a problem. And I had never been in spaces where I witnessed people have disagreements, have a difference of opinions, and it not end painful. And that taught me that any type of pushback equals rejection. And any disagreement, well, that was an attack. And unfortunately for me, that kept me quiet for years, because if I stayed quiet, nobody could disagree with me. Nobody could make me feel crazy. Nobody could give me any pushback. So it was just easier for me to just not say anything. So I dealt with all of that, and then I hit 30. There's something that happens when you hit 30. There's this I don't give a fuck factor. Now, sometimes you don't give a fuck. Your I don't give a fuck can be for different reasons. It may not be for the same thing. But when you hit 30, there's an I don't give a fuck factor that hits you. And for me, it applied to me being silent. So once I hit 30, something literally shifted for me. I finally started to speak. And I don't mean speak only when I was upset, only speaking out of aggression, only speaking out of aggravation and annoyance. I mean relaying my message and just saying what the fuck I wanted to say, because I deserve to be heard. And I don't want to mislead you and have you thinking that I all of a sudden woke up and I picked up a camera and I started recording TikToks and posted on YouTube, because that's not what it was. I had to start expressing myself privately first to the people closest to me that I dealt with on a daily basis. So what did that mean? I no longer conformed to how my family dynamics were. You can stay quiet, but I'm going to speak up. I do not agree with this. I'm not going to stay silent with this. I'm no longer going along with the unhealthy habits that has been passed down from generation to generation to generation. And the thing about it is, I felt it so deeply that I was willing to stand on the hill by myself. And in some instances, I still stand on that hill by myself, and I stand on it proudly. So I started expressing myself to family. I started expressing myself to friends. And I'm not going to lie to you. A lot of those conversations were and still are sometimes very much uncomfortable because people have gotten used to you playing along. You're not supposed to give pushback. You're not supposed to go against the grain. This is what we do. But I had to go ahead and let it be known that there is no we. I'm no longer a part of the program. And maybe I'm just not a good fit for you. And that's friends, family, and all. Like, I'm no longer being quiet and suffering on the inside, holding all of that in. Some people wonder why they get sick. They wonder why they constantly walk around with headaches, their body aches, and they don't know what's going on. You got to stop holding all that shit in. Whatever people have made you feel, or whatever thoughts that you're having that you feel like you need to get out, get that shit out. Stop sabotaging and destroying yourself from the inside because you're so afraid that your words may make somebody feel some kind of way. When you staying silent is making you feel some kind of way. So getting back to it, I started expressing myself more to the people that were closest to me, and a majority of them didn't like it and still don't like it to today. But once again, what do we say? I don't give a fuck. I'm still saying what I need to say, and it's not even to be disrespectful. Usually at this point now, because I'm so grounded in my feelings and in my thoughts, I can disagree with you speaking just like this. No, that does not make sense. No, I do not agree. I'm not going along with it anymore. And you know, when you do that, people then feel like you're trying to insult them. Now they feel like not only are you standing up for yourself, you have the nerve to not match my energy. You have the nerve to try and stay calm while I'm over here acting a damn fool and jumping off of walls and screaming and yelling to the heavens about a bunch of nothing. You have the nerve to really control your temperament. How dare you? How dare you get self-control like that? How dare you level up your energy and not waste it on nothing? How dare you? So people can get really offended, but once you stand up to what you would consider to be the big boss in your personal life, you know, like that one person that you've always just thought like, I wish I could just have the guts to stand up to them. Once you do that, for a lot of people, I'm not saying that this is my case, but for a lot of people, it's their mom. Like when you finally have that, you know, where you can like, finally, I'm standing up to my parents, or finally, I'm standing up to that teacher or that boss or whoever. Once you stand up to that person, there's no stopping you. And so once I did that, once I conquered that, and once I did that for a little while, oh, baby, it was nothing to turn the camera on because Jess got a lot to say. Still talking. We're almost to 80 episodes. I'm still going, and I will not be silenced. I will not be stopped. I will always have something to say. As long as I have thoughts coming into this brain that God blessed me with, and as long as my mouth can still speak words, I will always have something to say. And if you're listening to this, you have something to say. I know you're probably listening thinking like, damn, I wish I had the courage. You can. Start from the inside. Sometimes we wonder why. I wish I could, you know, when I go to the meeting, I have so many ideas, so many thoughts. I just don't know why I can't express it. Start at home. Start at home. Don't try to jump out into the ocean. Deal with the rivers and lakes that are in front of you first. Deal with what's at home. You can do it. You can speak up for yourself. It does not have to be out of aggression. It does not have to be out of anger. It does not always have to be out of frustration. And when you speak to release. Don't speak to make people understand. Leave room for people to ask questions for clarity, but it's not your job to make them understand. That was my biggest lesson when it came to me unlearning all of these habits. Was you share the information, you share your thoughts and feelings, and wherever it goes from there, it just goes. If they get it, they get it. If they don't, they don't. But it's not your job to break it all the way down and flip it around and try and that, because that's how your message ends up getting misinterpreted. And a lot of time people will use tactics like that to try and deflect and take the conversation somewhere else where they have control, because people don't like it when you understand what you're saying. People don't like it when you're standing on your message. They will try to divert the conversation and they will try and take it somewhere else. And the way that you avoid doing that is by standing on your truth and staying true to whatever it is that you're thinking and feeling in that moment. And like I said, wherever it goes from there, it goes. So once I finally started speaking up to people who were close to me, and then I started turning on the camera, the craziest thing happened. I started getting good at this shit. If you go back and look at some of my older videos, I was still doing the word salad a little bit. So even though I had started speaking up, things didn't just mysteriously get better. You get better by constantly doing the thing. So you have a problem with speaking up for yourself. You have a problem with relaying your messages clearly. Baby, you got to speak more. You're not talking enough. If you're struggling with something, that means you're not practicing enough. Practice literally can make perfect. So stand up for yourself more. It can be for the smallest thing. Share your ideas more. Right? Be the first one. This is what I'll challenge you with. Be that girl that's the first one to raise her hand. That's going to be a good challenge for you. That will help you when it comes to you speaking up. Because see, I used to be that one person, like when somebody asks a question and I used to be like, let me see what other people saying. Oh, okay. And then once you know how you hear that one person that says something close to like what you're going to say, you're like, oh, okay, what I was going to say isn't stupid. Now I can share it. And it's like, no, be the first one. Be the first one. Get it on out there and see. That's really going to help you when it comes to your communication skills, and not waiting until you feel like you're backed into a corner to finally express what you're feeling and what you're thinking, because your message is going to get lost in translation every single time. I am no therapist. I'm no doctor. I'm none of that. But I have a lot of experience with people, and I have a lot of experience with myself. And one thing I always tell people is when you're having an important when you're having an important conversation, never have a conversation like that when you are in an irritable state. You need to be able to communicate in a calm manner. I don't care how touchy or sensitive or important you feel like the topic is. If you are not in control of your emotions at the time, don't have the conversation, because your message will get lost in translation, because your thoughts are going to be going all over the place. Your emotions are going to make whatever it is you're trying to say come out in a way that you don't want it to come out. And it's going to end up doing more damage. And we're not trying to then double back and clear our message up and do damage control. It's just too much. It would not hurt you just to wait another 24 hours to have the conversation. So something that I wish somebody would have told the younger me that I'm going to tell you today. Speak up. Speak the fuck up. Speak up. Even when you're expressing yourself, speak up. Have confidence in your voice. Have confidence in your tone. Believe in what you're saying, so that people will then believe in what you're saying. Because the moment you sound a little bit shaky, people don't believe you. People won't take you seriously. So if I can leave you with anything before we leave, it's to speak the fuck up. I wish somebody would have told me that. I wish somebody would have told me that my voice is powerful. I wish somebody had told me that I deserve to be heard. I wish somebody had told me that my thoughts are not stupid. I wish somebody had told me that you got something to say. And there's going to be people out there that actually do give a fuck. And you know what? Even if you don't find one person that does, you still say what you got to say. I wish somebody would have just given me the space to speak and they be willing to listen. Not to fix me, not to redirect me, not to tell me how horrible of a decision that I'm making, but to literally just sit and genuinely listen to me. Because here's what I know now. There are women walking around here and probably listening to this episode right now who have something to say, but they keep it on the inside. They keep it on the inside because they believe that silence equals safety. They learned it and they've held on to it for dear life. They also learned to endure. They perform composure instead of actually expressing their truth. You don't have to keep it in anymore. You don't have to keep all of your thoughts and feelings bottled inside. You can express yourself today, right now. You do not have to wait until you're fully healed. You do not have to wait until you are perfectly put together. You can start messy. You can start scared. You can start with word salad, because that's what I did. And it has done wonders for me. So that's why I started. Not because I had a strategy, not because I was fully prepared, not because I had things well put together. It was simply because I was just tired of being fucking quiet, and I've had something to say my whole life. You are not too old and you don't need anybody's permission. And listen, you do not have to want to be a content creator just for you to allow your voice to be heard. That is the biggest thing I want you to take away from this. And that just came to me in this very moment. You don't need a platform to be heard. You are your own platform. You have a phone just like I have one. You can go get you a microphone. The phones come with microphones. You can go out on your balcony and say whatever the hell it is that you need to say. Say it to whoever who will listen. Say it when you go to the grocery store if somebody is in line in front of you and y'all waiting. Say it to them. Say it to anybody who's willing to listen. You do not need a platform in order for your voice to be heard. And be appreciative of that one person that's actually willing to listen to you. Because trust me, that one set of ears that's genuinely listening is worth way more than having thousands of people that don't even really care nothing about what you have to say. They're just there. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed this episode. And if you did, if it resonated with you in any kind of way, please make sure you like the video and share it with somebody else that needs to hear the message. A lot of us are going through similar things, and somebody could really benefit from hearing this more than you know. And if you've made it this far and you have not subscribed to the page, girl, what are you doing? Make sure you subscribe to the page. There's so much more to come. And also, take a moment, drop down in the comments, how old were you when you finally found your voice? And if you feel like you haven't found your voice yet, are you ready to do something about it? Once again, this is Her Clarity Space, and I'm your girl, Jess. And before I go, I want you to always remember that the road does not have to be clear in order for you to have clarity. I will see you ladies next week.